Hey everybody, welcome back to Flight Sim. We are once again flying the CRJ today. Today we're doing a trip out and back. First leg will be in this video, next leg will be in the next one. We're heading to Munich. I've turned on AI traffic and live weather, although I rolled the time back just so this flight's being done in daylight. It's about 10 a.m. We're here at Birmingham and we're going to be flying from here over to Munich. So let's hop on board and we can start getting everything all set up. So the aircraft is cold and dark. It is the first flight going out today. So what we're going to be doing is flying from here, and I will show you the route in a second. I just have to set up one more thing, and we're going to fly across to Munich, where we will do a turnaround over lunch and then do a return trip in the afternoon period. I'm just getting my packs ready. 61 passengers on today's flight. Flight time is just about an hour and a half. And there we go. So we have the ground power unit connected. We can see them out there. So battery is now on and ground power is connected. Everything is now coming alive, as you can see. Hear the air coming on. So let me get the checklist out and we will start down our procedures. So the last flight went very well. The little trick for landing when the glide slope doesn't quite capture right worked very well. Keeping the speed up works and didn't have any other problems. So we'll see how this one goes. So circuit breakers are all closed. Nose wheel steering switch is off. Hydraulic pumps are off. Landing gear lever is down. Flap lever is up. Spoilers are retracted. Radar is off. ADG is stowed, and the emergency flap lever is on normal. Battery master switch is on. APU is off. Aircraft electrics are all on auto. That's fine. We will start aligning the IRSs. Emergency equipment is stowed. Gears on board. Documents are on board. We'll check the hydraulic 3A pump. Let's come down here and hit the hydraulic page. And hydraulic 3A pump is all green. And we can turn the hydraulics off once again. So flight crew, you can begin boarding when ready. There we go. So we're going to get some... I'll turn the lights up here to halfway. We're not going to need much lighting because it is daytime, but just enough to make the panels kind of pop out when we're looking at them. I'll put that down for a second. Get that turned up as well. There we go. So we'll do the FMS initialization. So data is good. We'll do our position. We are at Echo Golf Bravo Bravo. We're going to go over to page 2. We'll grab one of the GPSs. We'll go to our previous page and we'll input our location. Since we do not have gate reference numbers here at the gate. And we'll go to our flight plan. So we're Echo Golf Bravo Bravo. And we're going to Echo Delta Delta Mike. Our alternate today on this flight is Frankfurt. Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot. And we are departing runway 15 here in Birmingham. And our flight number today is flight number 1090. We're not a VAT sim, so we're going to use the flight number in the Fly UK system. There we go. FL 1090. Should be flight. Should be UKV 1090. There we go. So 572 miles today. We'll execute that. That is good. I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to turn the airports off. I am going to turn that on. So I'm going to want that information. Alright, so we're going to go back to our flight plan, departure and arrival. Departing runway 15, and we are going off on the Cal to Yankee. And, departure, Cal to Yankee, and we'll execute. And you can see the beginnings of our route now laid in. We do have a 6,000 foot limit, which we'll have to deal with, and some speed restrictions as well. So back to the flight plan, we'll go to page 2. Now we can start entering in the route. So after Cowley, we are going to be on Q70. And Q70, we take that to Big, which is the Big in VOR, out by London. And after that, we go on the UL9. And we go to Conan, Konan. And then we go on to the UL607. And from UL607 we go to KOK. And then from there we go direct to Matug, M-A-T-U-G, Matug.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I would love to welcome you aboard our flight.
Go to the
When you
next
find your
page.
seat, please be sure to place your larger carry-on items in the overhead bins.
From
and smaller
Matug, we
items
go direct
underneath
to
the seat in front of you.
Movum,
Unless you're in the front row, please
M-O-V-U-M.
place all of your items in the overhead bin. If you have any trouble finding a location for your carry-on items, please let a flight attendant know and we would be happy to assist you. If the overhead bin is full after
Then
you
we
put
go
your
into
carry-on
Tango
inside it,
109.
please close the bin as a courtesy to other passengers. Once all your items are put away, please clear the aisle and sit down in your seat
To
to allow
Harem.
other passengers to find their seats as well. If you are seated in an emergency exit row, please read the exit seating responsibilities in the safety
And then
card
the
in the seat
Tango
back in front of you. Please make sure you are willing and able to
104
perform the actions required. If you are not able or prefer not to perform
to
these actions, please let a flight
Anora.
attendant know so you can be reseated. Now's the time to get out any last-minute text messages if you need to, but we ask that once we depart from the gate, you put away any laptops or
execute.
tablets. Thank you, and welcome aboard.
And then we will go to our arrivals index. And we're looking at arriving on the ILS for runway 08 right. And it's going to be by vectors. So we go to our legs page, 8 pages of waypoints, and we go to our plan. We can step through our waypoints. So that's coming out of Birmingham. We're going to swing down under London, across the Channel, across Belgium, into Germany, down to Anora, and then there'll be vectors down to the entry point into the approach for the runway 08 right at Munich. So that is all looking good. Go back to our plan mode. We'll leave that at 40. You're at 40, so we'll come back to 20. actually 10 for our departure. And there we go. So that is our flight plan in. So now we can do our performance information. So we have 61 passengers today. We'll enter 61 passengers. And our fuel today for the trip is 4369. 4369. Hit enter. And we are good. 7.5 on the trim. So we will go down here and we will copy the data and we will set the payload in the simulator. So fuel 4265. It's pretty close. Our cruise altitude today is flight level 390. And we will execute that. Next page. Cruise wind, we're looking at a tailwind of a T36. So we'll put that in there and execute that. And we're estimated to land with 2790 in the fuel on arrival. Alright, so VNAV setup, I'm happy with these numbers. And that is all good there. So the FMS is now set up. Cabin inspection is done. The walk around is complete. And everything else is good. Come over here to our numbers. It's going to be a flaps 8 departure. Runway is dry. So we will set our numbers in now. They're all set. So on our departure, which we can now brief, we'll go over here to the Navigraph.
We're ready to go when you are.
Here's where we're taking off from. We're going to come down here, south of London, across the channel, just north of Dunkirk.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Down over Belgium,
55,
over arcing down over Germany, and then we're going to vector down probably by Augsburg here and pick up the ILS into the Munich airport.
Make sure that all devices are in airplane mode.
So for our departure, like I said, we have some restrictions. Speed restriction at 210 until we get out to BBE 13. So that's be 13 miles from the airport. But we also have a altitude restriction of 6,000 feet until we get down to Cowley. So we have to maintain 6,000 feet down there. So we're going to be flying pretty low for a while at 250 knots. So that is just something we'll have to deal with as per usual. Alright, so we'll take that off the screen and we will carry on. Oh, get rid of you. So we're going to dial in a couple things here. First one's going to be the 210 knot limit and 6,000 feet. So 210. And 6,000 feet. There we go. Those are going to be our limits as we come out of that. So let's do our final checks. We'll come down to pedestal, or we'll go with the overhead first. Alright, so we are on AC power, power is set, external lights, nav light is on. Should have put that on earlier, that's fine. Fuel pumps are off, cross bleeds are normal, everything's good. And ignitions are good, hydraulics are good, we checked. Cabin pressure, cabin altitude is 339 here, or 340 pretty much. So I'm just going to set our landing elevation in case we have to come back. So that will be set to 340. There we go. These are all good. Air conditioning is off. Cockpit is off. This is all set. And we are good. So we'll put the signs on. Emergency lights are now armed. Coming down to the lower panel. Put the stab trim 1, stab trim 2, Mach speed, yaw damper 1, and yaw damper 2 can all come on at this point. And they are all good. So we're going to get the APU up and running. So I'm going to put the beacon light on and power on the APU. We're looking for in-byte to go out. In-byte is out, and we will hit the APU start button. Landing elevation is set. Altimeters. Altimeters are now set. 1018 is set, and I will check the standby. It is set. FMS is checked. IRSs are now aligned. Radios and nav aids. We're not using radios, but we'll set the ILS frequency. 109.3. I'll come over here. 109. 1093 is set. And transponder, we will run it at 2000 on altitude. Flight number is in, and that is good. And takeoff briefing is complete. So over we come to the aircraft. Cargo doors are closing. APU is up and running and is available. So ground power unit is now disconnected. Wheel chocks have now been removed, and the door is closing. Personal electronic devices are off. APU is on. Electricity check. Takeoff data is set. Doors are closed and locked. It will just confirm on the doors page. Doors are closed and locked. Beacon light is now on. Fuel boost pumps are on. Fuel pumps are on. Quantity is good. Hydraulics are going auto and on. And we will give them a call down below.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight deck.
We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Roger. Release the parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes released.
Pushing back.
Alright, we're going to push tail to the left. Or, yeah, tail to the left. And we should just be about ready to start. Got a Frontier Aviation A320 over there, and looks like something else behind him. Not sure what it is. Can't quite make out the tail.
You are cleared behind and you start your engines at your discretion.
Alright, so we're going to start engine number 2
Ladies
first.
and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the front of the aircraft for a safety demonstration.
Engine 2 start.
When the seatbelt light is on, please
Looking
make sure
for
that your
20.
seatbelt is fastened low and tight across your lap. To fasten, insert the metal fittings
On the
into one another.
N2.
Tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. In the event that the seatbelt light is not on, we suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened in case of unexpected.
There's 20 on the N2.
There are several emergency exits on this aircraft. Please
Engine
take a
starting.
few moments now to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor-level lighting will guide you towards the exit. In the event that the cabin loses pressure, an oxygen mask will drop right in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you. Place it firmly over your nose and mouth and secure the elastic band behind your head. Tighten the straps if necessary and breathe normally. Although the bag
Slightly
is not
overshot.
weight,
Still getting used to the
oxygen
turning
mask.
radius of this
If
thing.
you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask first and then assist others. Keep your mask on until a member of the crew advises you it's safe to remove it. In the event that the pilot decides to take us for a swim, a fashionable life vest is located in a pouch under your
Pushback
seat or
complete.
between the
Set
armrests.
parking brakes,
When
please.
instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch and remove
And-
the vest. Flip it over your head.
Parking brake set.
Roger. Okay, the tow bar is disconnected and the equipment is clear. We will see you on the left side of the
Okay,
pit.
good start
Thanks, and you
on
can
engine
disconnect
number
and go to
2.
hand signals.
Thanks. Have a good flight. See you later.
Starting left-hand engine.
The mouthpieces for manual inflation. Each vest is equipped with a whistle and light. If necessary, your seat cushion can be used as a secondary flotation device. Please securely
Again, looking
stow your
for
personal items.
20%
Make sure
on
your seatbelts
N2.
are fastened and seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the
20%.
lavatories is prohibited by law.
Up to
All
idle.
this information can be found in the safety card located in the seat back in front of you. Please read it and let a cabin member know if you have any questions. Thanks for flying with us
Engine
today.
starting.
Hope you enjoy your flight.
Everything is looking good. And left engine stabilized, temperature coming down. Everything is good there. Alright, so generators are checked, all in auto. The electrics have been checked. Bleed valves are in auto. Packs are both on. Recirculation fan is on. APU is coming off. Anti-ice. Window heats are on. We'll put on the probe heats just before we go. Okay, nose wheel steering comes on. Slaps and flaps. 8 degrees selected, 8 degrees indicating, and 8 degrees displayed. Flight controls. Trim was to be set for 7.2. So there's 7.2, full left, full right, neutral, full forward, full back, neutral, left, right rudder, neutral. Free and correct. Thrust reversers are now armed. Brake temperatures good. Flight instruments good. Reversers are on. Parking brake on. Salvo open. APU now powered off. Seatbelt signs are on, and no smoking sign is on. So everything else is ready to go. Taxi light coming on. And we'll head out now. Alright, so we're going to taxi out here, make a right at the end, and then we're going to head all the way down to the end of runway 15. You want to keep the speed down on this one. It's a smaller airplane, so 15 to 20 knots maximum, and then engine's not over 40% at any time, just to help maintain control. Again, this is Mako Sims Birmingham. Beautiful airport, still a work in progress, but it is looking really good, and it is always great to fly into this airport. Of course, you can see the parking lot over there, the control tower. And everything else. Let's go down this way and out to the end of the runway. I mean, just things like this, cargo containers and trucks and extra equipment stored there. Just adds so much to it. Looks fantastic. These are our window shots for today. This is looking at the leading edge of the left wing, and then we have the trailing edge of the right. Still want to run off the taxiway here. So as I mentioned, the first 4 of my training flights were done in the weather preset of few clouds, just standard weather, getting used to where everything is in the aircraft, how it handles. We're now on live weather. Although I've rolled the time back to morning for this flight, it'll be afternoon for the return trip. And AI traffic is on, so it'll be a little bit busier in the skies. And we'll see how that goes. Oh, there's the fire hall. And then after these couple flights doing this, we'll probably go live on VATSIM with it. And see how badly we can do there. Never flown into Birmingham Airport. So this is a new one for me. I've been into it now a couple times with flying the CRJ, but other than that, it is a new one. So it looks like everything should be ready to go. Its departure is pretty much going to be a straight out departure. A little bit of wiggles as we come to the crossing points as we climb out. Again, 210 knot maximum and 6,000 feet for our altitude restriction for today's flight. So we're going to get to 6,000 feet fairly quickly, and then we'll just have to hold it until we can start our climb after the big VOR. There's 23 knots. Come right back onto power, which we already are. It's a fairly long runway, so we'll let her roll down. Alright, we're coming up to the end here. Ready to go. So one thing I want to check is the options next. Yeah, it keeps turning off that, which I don't want. I want the noises inside the cockpit. Alright. Brakes on. Before takeoff checklist, lights. Landing lights are all on, strobes are on, logo is on, taxi light is on. Fuel crossflow is on manual. Flight attendants have been advised. Transponder and TCAS. So TCAS is set for auto. On ABS it's set for above. Hit return. Transponder is set to 2000, and on altitude and return, so we'll now come down here and set that to unit 1. And radar terrain displays, both weather radars are on both sides, and CAS is checked. Manual cross-flow, parking brake on, reversers arm, that's good. You're at 40 and you're at 10. Alright, we are good to move out. No traffic seen inbound. A little bit of throttle here. I think we're on a hill. Runway looks clear. Approach path is clear. Definitely starting to get more comfortable in the airplane. And there we go. You're lined up and ready to go. So brakes are set, engine's up to about 60%. And idle and spoilers. Did I hit the spoilers? Oh, I did hit the spoilers. That was that click that I couldn't figure out what it was. Alright. So we are off. Keep her on the runway, 100 knots. V1 and rotate. A wind caught her there. Definitely pushed her around. Climbing up, positive rate. Gear up. Speed and nav. Autopilot's on. And coming back to climb thrust. Flaps 1. Speed should be 210 knots. As we climb out, above the clouds, looking good. It's 4,000 feet, and we are in climb thrust, heading to 6,000. capture. Back on the speed. You gotta watch that because she does kick out of speed mode, so it'll no longer be holding it that way. You're gonna have to manually adjust the speed. Still got flaps 1 because we're down in that range. So after BB13, which is our next waypoint, we'll be able to go up to 250 knots. Give it a little extra power just to finish the climb. There's 6,000. He's back on the power now. Well, welcome to southern England. In between the cloud layers here. Looks like we've hit our next waypoint. We have, so we can start speeding up to 250. Crank that up. Again, this is just a reference point. We do got to stay at our 6,000 feet here. At this point, we can come off on the crossflow pump, and the nose lights can come off. Logo light will come off. Leave the landing lights on until we climb past 6,000 feet. Alright, now we're off to Cowley. Again, maintaining that 6,000. Beautiful countryside. Spring is definitely on in England right now. It's the very end of March. Temperatures are rising. They're getting some rains. I'm sure the plants are budding and the grass is starting to turn. Nope, I don't really watch that speed. We're way too fast here. Reversers can come off. Bleeds an APU. Well, aircon is on, recirc fan is on. Bleeds are good. Pumps are good. And I will box that. So we're 29 miles to Cali. I won't hold us in here as we do this. So sit back, enjoy the flight, and we will catch up with you on the descent when we do our briefing. Enjoy the views. Coming up on 10,000 feet. 110.9 is dialed in. We're not quite picking it up yet.
We have begun our final descent into Munich. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables
So
are
our speed's down to 250. We'll get all the lights on.
Please also store any carry-on items either in the
Seatbelt
seatback
signs
pocket
already
or under
on.
the seat in front of you.
Altitude, landing
All
elevation,
Wi-Fi
pressure
related
is set.
Still any larger electronics.
Anti-ice can now come off. We were going through some clouds earlier. Spoilers out just to hold us at 250 while we descend. We're going down to 5,000 feet for the capture on the ILS. Giving myself a little bit of space here, just to ensure I can get down to 5,000. And we're now picking up the localizer, and runway course is 080. So we'll dial that in, 080. It's 8,500. Speed is slowly coming back. See the Alps there? An aircraft up above. Alright, so everything is looking good. We should be at 5,000 feet just before we get to where Bergen is, which is what we want. Speed still edging back. We're in idle. I got a quarter speed brake on. Our flight spoiler, as they call it, just to make sure that we can keep our speed down. There's 6,500. I'm going to make a turn to bring us a little bit closer to a 30-degree intercept. And it looks like she's already coming in. So we'll arm approach mode. Let the localizer capture. Glide slope's coming in, so we'll go in on the speed brake. Speed's going to start coming down. Range in again. And we should be rolling out for the capture. Alright, so it's localizer. It's 5,000 feet. So bring up the power. We want about 210. Come over here to our performance. We can now set our VREF. Gonna hold that at 210. Airport's ahead. And localizer's coming in. See how she does on the capture. Captured, and she's got a good hold. Alright, lining up, power coming back 11 miles out, flaps 1. And flaps 8. Still good on the localizer and the glide slope. A little bit of a tailwind here apparently, that should come around. And flaps going to 20, speed coming down. Now 9 miles out. Speed's down to 180. I think they're landing on the other runway. They are. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to set 5,000 feet, which we have set. We're going to go to climb thrust. Set speed. We'll get ourselves up to 200 knots, 5,000 feet. Heading mode. And we'll come around and get the other side. So we're going to be landing on a change in runway here. So we'll come in on 26 left now. And that's 118.3. .3. All right. So we'll fly out. We'll intercept on the other side. Oop. Over speed. flaps coming up. Obviously the winds come around on us in flight with no ATC to give us direction, no ATIS. It has changed. That's fine. We'll fly out and we will pick up the inbound on the other ILS. There's the aircraft coming in there. And you can see them there on the TCAS, 2,600 feet below us and descending. So that does work. Does it work with VATSIM? Well, I guess we'll find out one day. Alright, so we're going to head due east now. There we go. And the course on this one is 261. All right. Oh, so we got a couple aircraft there now. Let's watch the speed. Getting awful slow. Gotta remember to fly the airplane. So I am going to go to flaps 2, or flaps 8. It's 5,000 feet. Back on the power. Get the power up. She's going to take over a little bit here. Get her nose down. There we go. That autopilot back on. So 5,000 feet, vertical speed mode. Let's get her descending. There we go. Alright, we want to get back down to 5,000 feet. 060. Start bringing her around for the intercept again. Alright, 030, everything is looking good. No traffic in the area. Speed's coming down. Altitude's coming down. And over to 300 we go. Altitude capture. Miles 20. Hold that 180 speed. Again, set our reference. There's an aircraft coming in front of us. I'm going to go through him and activate approach mode. Localizer capturing. So it looks like one aircraft in front of us. Descending. Speed back to 180. Again, we'll see how the glide slope does on the capture. Localizer is now captured. That's better. We got a headwind this time. Here's the glide slope. Glide slope's early, so altitude capture, heading, and approach mode. Let's try that again. Speed's down to 180. 10 miles out. Glide slow. Glide slope captured. Much better this time. Eight miles. Speed's increasing. 7 miles. Throttles back. Didn't set the decision height. It's fine. Set it for 100 feet just so we have the effect. It's more or less a visual approach anyway. Alright, gear going down. 5 miles. Gear down 3 green, flaps 30. Outer marker. Four miles, flaps full. Speed's right on reference.
Traffic.
Well, TCAS is working. Not sure where the traffic is, because I don't see him. Looks like he's clear. A little slow. Coming into land, you can see our shadow getting closer. Middle marker.
200. Minimums. 50, 40, 30, 20.
Oh, a little bit of a float.
10.
Down. Fly the nose down. Reversers are not going for some reason. Why are you not going, reversers? Well, it says they are. Maybe they are. Kind of used to the ones on the A320. Alright, reversers are off, and we are off. And half an hour late. Wonderful. Alright, so flaps will come up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Munich. The local time
Spoilers
is
retracted.
1:19 p.m. and it's currently about 9 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins, as items may have been shifted during the flight. If this is your final destination, we thank you for flying with us. If you're making a connection, we encourage you to check your itinerary to ensure a smooth continuation of your journey. We apologize for the delay. Please coordinate with airline staff as necessary regarding connecting flights or vouchers.
Alright, so we're pulling into Munich here. And we will taxi along Sierra. TCAS will go to standby, and the radars, which don't really work anyway, will come off. we're gonna go park at terminal. Terminal 1? Let's see. Terminal 2. So it's a little bit down here. Again, we're in full idle for the taxi. It's looking good. Now really getting the hang of it for landing. It's coming along much better. We're actually going to go into Terminal 1 here. And we're going to go park at the gates. Over here. So obviously these are bridges, taxiways are bridges over this sunken road, which is not so sunken at the moment. I think we're going to go up beside the Aer Lingus here in this remote satellite terminal. So it's now around lunchtime, and in a couple hours, and on the next CRJ video, we will be departing here and heading to Southampton. These guys are doing some funky parking. We'll park beside the Aer Lingus here. Should be good. The line has kind of died a little bit there. Come up, we'll shut off the taxi light. Just kind of position ourselves far enough up that the jetway can connect if it wants to. We'll see how it does. Right about there. So brakes are set. Okay, oop. Let's get the thing off. Seatbelt signs will come off. And APU is available, so thrust levers will come off. Let's see if we can get the jetway attached. So that's the thrust levers. Anti-ice is all off. Probe heats will come off. Window heats will come off. Fuel pumps will all come off. And the lights, logo and beacon will come off. And the nose wheel steering switch is off. And looks like we're pretty much connected. So we'll open the door and go. and baggage can start. Well, thank you much for joining us on this flight today. Beautiful afternoon here in Munich. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.